All right, let's get into 5 things you probably didn't know you could do with QuestionPro. And I say this a little bit because you may have known this, but maybe you know about the feature, but you don't know the details, don't know how it works. And I hear a lot around, I didn't know you guys had that. And to me, it seems pretty obvious because, we're in the product on a day-to-day basis. But these are 5 things that I came up with that I thought that you would want to know. All right, look at that. Nice. Okay.
I kind of forgot they were there.
All right. So the first one, and what I'm going to do is go over these 5 things on the slides here, and then we'll dive in and I'll show you an example inside of QuestionPro how to do this. So just wanted to tee these up, and then we'll get into the actual application of it. So extraction, so where you can display options of a multi-select question as answer types to follow-up questions. You can do extraction on extraction, and I'll show you all the different options there. So that's something that you may have known that we have, but not to the depth or all the different options. So I want to cover that as well. Question blocks. So you can group your questions into different blocks, not only just for organizational purposes, but also you can use it for logic, for randomization, and I'll show you a practical exercise here coming up. Another one that we have is review mode. Now, I really like review mode because it is a collaborative way that you can get feedback from users outside of QuestionPro. So let's say you're programming a survey, you want to send it to a client or a stakeholder, but they don't have a QuestionPro license. You can send it to them. They get a view of it, and they can enter in their comments. They can see all of the different things that are going on, and you get it in a real concise way. Here you can see it on the right-hand side. You can see some comments there. I'll show you a closer view, of course. But what this does is it relieves the dreaded email thread of all the different changes, and you have to try to track it. This is all in one spot. So this review mode is key in that regard. Next is org survey templates. So I'm often asked, hey, I have a bunch of templates. How can I do this in QuestionPro? And I want these surveys to be accessible for my organization. And I'll show you a way that you can do that just by using the tools in QuestionPro. So I thought that's something that's come up a lot recently. So I wanted to remind people of it and the way that they can do it here, just with some additional functionalities that we have. And the final one is audience self-service.
I love this one.
I know,
because I love pushing buttons.
Yes. So here you have your survey, you can send it out. It's all done programmatically using our technology to not only filter on who your audience is, send it out, get the results back, and this is all done inside of QuestionPro. So we have this. I think some people might know that we have it, but what I would really want to show is the ease of use of this particular feature. So why don't we do this? I will share my screen here, and we can dive right into these different features.
Oh, are you going to live demo these?
Yeah, we're live demoing right now.
Oh, yeah.
So let me get this going here. Okay.
You all can learn along with me. This is how we, really prioritize things at QuestionPro. What does Crystal not know?
See, there we go. Okay. So the first one I want to show you is extraction. So I will come to this example that I set up here. And really, extraction allows for you on a multi-select to then extract these options into follow-up questions. So you can see here I have this question, which of the following sports do you enjoy? And I have football, soccer, golf, swimming, baseball, tennis, or not applicable, which will screen you out. But you have here, I have this matrix question that will only have those options that were selected in this previous question.
Right.
Will only show up on the preview, which I'll show. And then I also have, please rank these options as well. So what we can do here is I'll show you how I set this up is you just go to logic and then you can go to extraction. And there's many different options that you can choose here. It's not just a simple extraction. You can base it off the choices that were selected. Maybe you want to know about some of them that weren't selected. Like, why didn't you select these options and get more information about that? The choices that were displayed or not displayed, depending on what logic you're using here, or all choices. You can choose to always extract all of them. you can extract them to different question types. If it's single select, multi-select, drop down, matrix, star rating, drag and drop, constant sum. So many different question types that you can extract to. And we also have a few other options that you can make use of, always extract. Let's say you're asking, which of the following brands do you use? And if your brand wasn't selected and you want to ask about that, you can choose to always extract your brand as well, or whatever option might be there. Similarly, we can choose to never extract options as well, and you can select from those here. So what does this look like practically? So I have my questions here. Let's say I say football, golf, swimming, and baseball.
Right.
I can start this. You can see football, swimming, soccer, baseball were selected. And then I can easily go here. And then I can go football, soccer, and I can rank these. So maybe football's 1.
Soccer should be 1. Sorry.
All right, fine. We'll go with soccer 1. I know you're the Timber fan there. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. And then done. So there you go. So that's extraction. So that's something that you can easily make use of, as well as using extraction in your surveys. It's easier to set up than previously. You'd have to go and set all, show hide options for all of these, which can be a pain. This makes it easy. If you wanted to do another extraction question off this one, I've already done 2, but you can easily do that as well. So you just come in here, do your choices, and then you can select the question type that you want to have it extract to, and then you're good to go. So with that was extraction.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was like, you didn't see me raising my hand. What benefit would this have over piping then?
Yeah, you could still use piping. So you may want to do looping if it's a series of questions and you want to ask about that same answer option in each question before it loops onto the next one.
Right.
So kind of 2 different use cases here. This would be more based on the answers that they either selected or didn't select. You want to ask follow-up questions. Pretty typical example is, which of the following have you heard of? And then having them choose their most favorite or, options. So kind of 2 different use cases depending on the survey and what you're doing.
Good to know.
Cool. And then next up we have blocks. So I want to show you question blocks here. This is an example that I set up where you have these different images. So these are all different blocks. So you have image 1, image 2, image 3, and you can see each image here. Then you have a question, please take a look at the image. How likely would you be to visit this place? And what I want to do is you can set up these blocks, obviously, to organize your survey into different sections, but you can also, if you come over here and go to tools and then you go to block flow, you can do many different options here. So if you wanted to, this is the current block flow here, but if you wanted to add a randomizer, you can do that. So if you drag in these different blocks, you can all drag them in here. And then you can choose to randomly display one of these from the list below. So that way, if you wanted to randomize them, you can do that. You can evenly present the blocks. So that way, if each one is shown equal amount of times. So that way, if you have a long list or you have a long battery of questions in each block, you can easily choose to randomize those. You can also add logic. So if you wanted to reset this, and
you can add logic to the block.
Exactly. Yeah. So I can add logic here.
See, I definitely always thought blocks were just about organization.
No, that's just the tip of the iceberg there. There's much more under the sea that you can do here. And so there's a lot you can do in terms of like adding logic. Like maybe you only want to show this block if they answer a question in this way. And so with the block flow, there's not only randomization, but logic that you can do based on the block as well. So a lot you can do there with blocks and block flow, but that's something that's easy to set up here. So again, it's just under here, block flow. And then I have an example set up here, which I was going to use that I'll show you later, and I can show you kind of a practical application. Another one of blocks. The next one I wanted to show was this review mode. So I believe it was this survey here that I had some response, or that I had the review mode in. To get the review mode, you just go to Tools, and then you go to Review Mode. And then
Where did you go? Tools?
Tools up here, and then to Review Mode.
Sometimes
then,
you move very quickly.
Sorry, I'll go slower, okay? And then you can see here that you can add in different comments. You can also share this. So if you have this share icon, you click that, you can enter in the email addresses of the reviewers. Now, these can be people that are in QuestionPro or QuestionPro users inside of your platform, or it can be people externally, and you want different stakeholders or people to review the survey. They'll get much like the preview mode, and then you can see in there, they can add in their, these different comments that they have, and you can organize it by each of these different questions. So this is something you can do. You can add in comments here, like, let's take a look at the wording. And this, typically how this would be done is you would take the survey link, email it out to people, and they would all reply back either in a document or they would reply back in the email. And a lot can get lost. It gets messy. It's hard to organize this information. But here you'd be able to clearly see on each of these different questions, what are the comments, what I need to take a look at. And similarly, you can reply back to the comment as well.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so much like a collaboration style. And I think you can kind of see the direction here we're moving with, not only from we're on the workspace where we're introducing the multi-use and allowing people to go in. The collaboration we see as a key component for insights teams working to get their surveys up and running. So
because right now, so much of it is just done. Oh, I'm echoing. So much of it is done just like through Word documents, right?
Yeah, exactly. Word documents, just even email threads. So it's not real clean, right? So this review mode definitely helps out with that. And it's something that we have that maybe some people don't know about.
I didn't know about it, and I work here.
See, there you go.
That's not
right.
saying much though.
We're flying right through these, which is all right. And the next one that I wanted to showcase was templates. So oftentimes your organization has surveys that you've programmed with logic, with everything that you want to be able to allow your other users to access, to copy into their, to be able to copy over and to use in their research. Now, you can do this pretty easily in QuestionPro just by adding a new folder. You can name it. I have one named templates here, but you would add this, name the folder. And then here you can put all of your different surveys in this folder. So here I have everything from maybe a company satisfaction survey, so services engagement, employee satisfaction for larger companies. So those, let's say these are the templates that I have. What you can do is when you go to share this folder, there's different options here. So you can see here that you can select company will have access to edit, company name, the company will have access to reports, or even just to access to copy the survey. So if you select this one, they're only going to get copy access. You can ensure that the survey template can't get edited by anybody else. They can only copy it so that it locks it down, and that way it can only be used for a template. So if you use this option, then you're good to go, and people can only come in here, they can view it, and then they can copy it. That's all they can do. So they won't be able to edit the logic or access the questions. You can ensure that your template stays intact.
Yeah. I'm a classic template editor, even on my own stuff, like in Google Docs. And then I'll be like editing the wrong, and I'm like, no.
Yeah. How many times do you forget to create a copy and you start editing in there and you're like, oh, this is done. Okay. So that happens all the time. And this is a good way. I mean, you can use this for templates. Organization obviously is a key component at companies. So this is a way that I've always recommended people to do it. And I don't think a lot of people, kind of think about it like that, but this is how you can use templates inside of QuestionPro. All right. The last thing that I wanted to show was this, was the audience self-service. So I'm going to go to this survey here. And in this survey, you can see that I have it divided into the intro, different locations, kind of similar to the other survey that I showed around blocks. In this survey, I do have the block flow set up so that it's randomly displaying one of the locations. And what you can do here is, let's say I wanted to send this out. I go to Research Suite, I click on Audience, it brings me here, and then I can create a new project. So what I'm going to do, I'll name this project XDay 2022 for obvious reasons. I'll click the completion date. Maybe I want it done by next week. And then here you can select the survey. So I'm going to scroll down and go to my folder here. That is XDay. I want this India location survey. And then here I can select the number of respondents that I want to send it out to. So anywhere from, 10 to 5,000. So let's say I want to do 100 people. You can see that as I'm going through this, it'll start to build out the price as well. So here I want United States. My incidence level here is going to be high. I'm going to go 90%. You can see here that for 100 completes, it's going to be $1.50 per. So it's going to cost me $150. Now, you can load up a balance in here. So
okay.
And all of those credits can be used, for the survey you're sending out here. But as I get more specific, you can start to see, this price could change depending on how easy or hard the different audiences is. So maybe I only want 18 to 24, or, you can start to select the different ranges of your sample population that you need, and different ethnicities. If you want to target specific ethnicities, you can do that here. Annual income, relationship status, states, employment status, all these different things you can target. Then you hit create, and then it will go and it'll send out your survey. So for this, I'm just going to go 10 here, and I'm going to clear all these, and I'm just going to run this. Let's see. I'll hit create here. So my project was created successfully, and you can see the bid here. It's 1 minute. It's easy survey. It's only one question. See my total cost is going to be $15, completed interviews, and then there's my total cost per interview. Gives you a credit balance here, so you can easily see how much credit. You can add more if you need. And then what it will do is you can come in here, and there's some different options if you want a soft launch or if you want it to go live.
Wait.
Yeah, so soft launch would be a certain percentage of your completes. It'll get those, it'll stop. That way you can check the data, and you can make sure everything is good to go before you go into the full launch. So that's what I do here.
Love that.
Yeah, so it's only 10 here, so I'm just going to go live, and then it is processing all of the data here. So your project will be launched to collect 10 interviews. Total cost is $15. Please know, if your metrics in field differ, we'll automatically stop the project as well, and then let you know the additional price of that. So here you can hit launch, and then you're good to go. So the survey is live. Here's one that I completed a while back. Similar process, but and you can see all the different projects that you ran in here, and all this data, obviously flows right back into QuestionPro on the Research Suite here. So you can, if I come in here and I see the previous survey that I fielded, you can see all those results as well.
Interesting.
So yeah, you can do that. Let me see what that one was. Anyway, so you can come back here. Let's see where this is at. It looks like it's starting to get some responses, but that is how, you can see one viewed, one total response, one person dropped out already. So you can start to see, these results as they come in real time as well. So this is the audience self-service, super easy to use. It's coming here. It's available to anyone on Research Suite, and you can come in here, send out your projects. Works well, especially if you're doing, some Gen Pop, or even need some additional criteria. This works very well and is quick and efficient for fielding your surveys. So those are the 5 things that I wanted to show, and I hope everybody learned something new. If you have questions on this, definitely let us know. I'll be happy to reach out. And
I definitely learned something new, but I also
what's up?
I saw you had text highlighter in here.
Yeah, we do. I showed text highlighter.
I know you guys talked about it during the product showcase, but you really have it in here live right now.
Yeah.
And so we've added a bunch of transitions to this too, because you have an option, right, to add commentary now.
You can.
As a viewer.
You can add, yeah, you can add commentary. So if I preview this, let's say I go in here and I highlight this section, I dislike it, and you can say, the wording here is off, whatever it might be. You can save it, and then similarly, if you come in here, you like it, you can either choose to add it or not, and then you're done. So when in the results, you'll see those comments as well. So if you go to analytics here, and then you go to text highlighter.
Ooh.
You can see here we have 13 responses. So you can see here, if you turn on these comments, you can see all the different comments that that come in, like wording's off. Really like the
really like the wording.
Yeah, nice, great, well said. So you can get all those comments here, and then of course print them off. You can export this. You can share it via link as well. So a number of options here to get exactly who you want. One nice thing I like as well is you can filter. So let's say you want to see how your responses for text highlighter vary across different segments. You can easily do that as well, where you can see, hey, maybe this group likes the section, this group doesn't like the section. So there's a lot of things you can do. I'm using these filters here that you can utilize inside of QuestionPro as well.
That's awesome. It does look like we have a question from Catherine. Do we know how many possible participants may qualify in the audience self-service?
Yeah, it'll show you if it's feasible or not. So if it's not feasible, it'll say, hey, not feasible, please contact sales. And then that's where Tim's project management team can come in and help find that audience. It's not all criteria and that's available to us. We've limited the criteria here to some of the most common use cases, but if it doesn't, then we can definitely help you out. It'll let you know, like, hey, we can't do this with a self-service, but we can do this with.
Yeah, I know Tim has found some crazy demographic, like some crazy samples that are like, I don't know, like a person who operates a garbage truck on the left side instead of the right. I don't know.
That's probably specific, but yeah, I'm sure you could find that.
Things that float around my head. I just want to, sample all the people.
Yeah, I know. I get it. So no, we can definitely help you out with, the craziest of the crazy qualifications that you're looking for.
Well, this is awesome. Thank you so much, Dan, for teaching us so much.